Welcome back to Christian Conversations. My name is Josh and today I want to speak to you about church and evangelism, two terms that I think Christianity has perhaps misunderstood, and because of that society then misunderstands it as well. In this video I'm going to link below an article for you to have a look at which speaks about evangelism that I found really helpful. I found this article a few years ago and I've shared it around to a few people who have also found value in it, and it looks at evangelism not as a Christian term but as a marketing term. And the reality is one of the reasons that we suck at evangelism is because we think it's all about an event, but it's not about an event. It's about a way of life. It's about what we do in the everyday of our lives. So evangelism has many different facets to it, and really it's just about telling people about what you're passionate about. And the article below speaks about a guy who was the lead evangelist for Apple. That was, he would let people know the developments happening within the Apple company and tell them about the new products that were coming out and just speaking about that all the time, things that he was passionate about. If we are true church people, if we are true God people, if we are passionate about God, we can't help but speak about God almost in every aspect of our life. Today I had an experience where I was sitting in one of my local favourite cafes just around the corner from the church that I actually attend, and I had a church experience in this cafe that also allowed me to understand how evangelism works more effectively. There I was sitting and my computer was down low on battery and I had to plug it into the outlet to get some more power. And as I plugged it in, the guy who was sitting in front of the power outlet said to me, what kind of computer are you using? We got into a conversation about just the basic reason that we use our computers and what we're using them for. And then he asked me the question, which was, what is it that you do for a living? What's your job? And I told him what I did. And normally in the past, I have been a bit skeptical in voicing what I do for a living. When I was in high school, I was skeptical about voicing the fact that I was a Christian at all. Now that I'm older, not only do I voice the fact that I'm a Christian, but I also voice the fact that I let people know about Jesus. I'm a church pastor. That's what I do for a living. And so I told this guy this, and it led into a conversation for the next probably 20 minutes to half an hour about church, about faith, about God. And so we had this conversation about our different thought processes, our different understandings, perhaps on various items, but most specifically around what church looks like in the 21st century. Today, churches have kind of capitalized on people's misconception of what church is. We think of it as a building with a steeple and pews and a sermon and music and offerings, and depending on your faith tradition, it could have any other plethora of things in there as well. But church in its simplest form was groups of people gathering together. In fact, the original definition of church had nothing to do with faith, nothing to do with Christianity, just simply a group of people gathering together to have a conversation about a particular topic. Today, what's to stop our churches from being a group of people gathering together, having a conversation about life, doing life together, having a conversation about God and how God impacts the everyday in their lives? What does their church look like? I would encourage you to join a church community if you can. And if that's a church that meets weekly in a building and worships God together with the singing of songs and the praying of prayers and the preaching and teaching in a sermon, please do that. But for some of you, that may not be what church is for you. In fact, that may not meet the need that you have spiritually at that point in your life. Perhaps for you, the best church is the one in someone's home. It's the one in the cafe that you visit regularly. It's the one in the park that you go and exercise in. Church really is about doing life together. And when we look at the example of Jesus, he did this and exampled this to us perfectly well. He had 12 disciples that he had handpicked, and he did life with them for 3.5 years. And as the result of that, those 12 people, yes, there were more disciples, if you will, that followed him around for the duration of his ministry. But from those 12 people in particular, we have to think for all of the Christians in the world today. Imagine if we did life together with 10, with 12 people ourselves, and just ministered together. We spoke about God together. We prayed to God together. We cared for one another that deeply. And then perhaps even after that 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5 years, whatever the time period is, each of those 12 people then go and do that again. The multiplication of impact would be greater than that of the local church. Imagine if we invested our faith in one person each per year. Imagine if we invested our faith and our life experience and our Christian walk with 2 people each per year. You would have more effective Christians, more effective Christ followers than if you ran evangelistic program after evangelistic program, because the reality is people are not converted to follow Jesus by programs. They're not going to be enticed to follow Jesus by programs for the long haul, but they're going to be enticed to follow Jesus because of the experience they've had one-on-one with you. When it comes to evangelism, when it comes to speaking to people about that which we are passionate about, we will only speak about that which we are passionate about. Now for me, things that I am passionate about, I'm passionate about organisation, being organised. And so I will tell people, and I have told people, how I fold my socks. I've told people about computer programs that have made life a heck of a lot easier for me. I am passionate about the organisation that Microsoft Excel affords me. I am passionate about how technology can make my life easier, and I let people know about that. I'm also passionate about science fiction, particularly Star Trek. Judge me if you will, but I'm passionate about these sorts of things, and I let people know about them. What are you passionate about? One of the other things that I'm passionate about is God. It's about Christianity. It's about my Christ experience. And so I have come to a point in my life where I'm prepared to tell people about my passions, especially about my passion around God. Some people are ashamed of their Christianity, and that was me some many years ago, but I have learnt to have my identity firmly planted in Christ. From that came a 30-minute conversation about life, Christ, and the church, just from telling someone that I'm a church pastor. Imagine what we could do if we went around passionately telling people about our Christian faith. Are we passionate enough about Jesus to let others know about him? I would challenge you to be passionate about Jesus, that you experience him in the everyday, and allow others to do so too. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video on evangelism and church. If you want to continue the conversation around this topic, use the comments section below. Write your thoughts in there and we'll have a bit of a chat around what that means and your thoughts on evangelism and church as well. Please click the subscribe button and check out my channel for some other videos that you might find interesting as well.